Okay, so if you haven't yet, don't get the Roblox Windows version app. Okay, you will literally have to log in every time you play, and that's what I've been doing for the past 7 days. So if you haven't got the Windows beta app, don't get it because oh my god, it's so terrible. Okay, so in our last video, we unlocked every single note in Piggy. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go ahead and read through everything. As you can see, I've got all this. This is not clickbait. I've literally made like 7,000 videos on this one, and thanks so much for the support. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read through every single. We're gonna read through everything, and we're gonna see if there's any mysteries. All I know is there's a lot of things that haven't been mentioned in the Piggy storyline. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read through everything. Are you kidding me right now? I literally have to go through this again. Okay, let's get started. So it says I was tasked to investigate reports of a missing child named Georgie. As I arrived at the Piggy's household for any leads, I began not. I began to notice things were off. It was unusually quiet and quaint. A breeze of unease shrouded me as I stepped out of my vehicle. Without a moment to react, I blacked out and woke up in the bedroom of the house with a beaming headache. Someone has knocked me out and brought me here. But why? If they wanted to get rid of me, why didn't they just finish the job? While attempting to piece things together, I encountered a strange, crazed pig with different eyes and a hunger for harm. It didn't talk, it just chased me. It just chased me. Chased me. Terrifying, as soon as I escaped the house, I decided to get back to the station and get help. What we have here seems to be much more than a missing animal case. And it says the Piggy household looks oddly peaceful. Chapter 2 Station. When I reached the station, I found it to be unusually quiet. No officers celebrating, no criminals rattling their cell doors, nothing. Then the intercom system spurred out a warning to get to the garage. That voice sounded familiar. It was Doggy, my old partner. I don't know why he showed up on his day off. Maybe it was a distress call that all officers received while I was unconscious in the Piggy house. As I crept about to unlock the garage, I encountered yet another strange looking pig. It appeared to have black eyes and a violent attitude, just like the last one. What is it with these animals? What happened to them, and what made them like this? Once I opened the garage doors, fueled the escape car, and left with Doggy, I felt a sense of dread overwhelm me. I got out, but I did not feel safe. I needed to find out what was going on. The cells all empty. I guess they took advantage of the situation. Chapter 3 Gallery. Turns out the gas that I picked up was almost empty because we found ourselves running out pretty quick. To make matters even worse, we stopped in the middle of the city. A couple of the infected, as Doggy calls them, surrounded our car. We rushed into the nearby building, the gallery. I haven't been here since we started investigating a reported robbery last month. It seemed to be a little run down and as well. We quickly sealed the building, only to soon realize that the infected entered as well. It was very strange to see a place, once so calm, become so chaotic. Doggy told me that he never liked galleries anyways. Sealing ourselves in wasn't the best idea, I'll admit. Chapter 4 Forest. Doggy and I have been safe and sound in this forest for weeks now. We've been silently visiting small towns and taking supplies from them. We spoke for days about what we'll do when it's over. Doggy says he likes to travel somewhere south someday and visit old monuments and ruins. I don't know what I'll do, but I I couldn't get my mind off of the world state. One night, I woke up to discover a broken and empty potion and a missing friend. I looked around and found Doggy. He was one of them. My gut sank, and I felt weak. Where did this potion come from, and why did he drink it? Was he forced to? He had red eyes, not like the others, though. Someday I will get to the bottom of this. As I left the forest to no longer be faced with such a harsh blow to my heart, I came across a radio with a voice that instructed me to head to a school. Clinging onto anything to distract my mind, I followed their instructions. Others had the idea to stay too. It looked like it worked out the same way as it did for us. What does that mean? Others had I. What does that mean? I have no idea. Chapter 5 School. Still recovering from the loss of Doggy, I felt out a touch of reality, like I was a blur just floating through time. However, I pressed on. The radio I found in the forest instructed me to help them out and find their friend trapped in a school. Maybe if I couldn't save my friend, I should help save them. Theirs. That's when I met Bunny, a sharpshooter bunny with an eye patch. I don't know what these words are anymore. Barrel-loaded herself with the school surveillance room after a failed supply run. She was very kind, not to mention thankful. Her enthusiasm inspired me to be strong and get a hold of myself. As we headed to the sewers to meet up with this mysterious radio voice, my head started burning up. I did not feel too well at all. I ignored it and continued. Why does it say OON? Oh no, the C is just so small. Continued moving forward. We both met up with Mr. P, very rich celebrity. Then how come I've never heard of him? It was certainly strange to find someone of his status walking about in the sewers. He thanked me for his help, but the more he spoke, the harder I found it to pay attention. My head hurt and more until I passed out there. The last thing I remember was being wheeled in a hospital and seeing Doggy. That's a dream. We were going crazy. So I thought we passed out because of the sewer smell. But that doesn't make sense because Mr. P and Bunny didn't feel it at all. People think it's the Piggy that knocked us out in chapter 1. And how are we not turning into a Piggy or an infected? No idea. The empty halls are haunting. Chapter 6 Hospital. I woke up in a hospital with Bunny by my side. She seemed to lighten up when she saw my eyes open. Bunny explained that Mr. P and the researchers didn't think I'd make it as I showed minimum symptoms of the infection because obviously we passed out. So obviously we think. So I'm pretty sure that the thing in chapter 1 wasn't fake. She didn't give up on me though. I rescued her, so she believed it was her duty to protect me from being tossed out and deemed a lost cause. Bunny also told me that I woke up in the perfect time as the place was being evacuated. A doctor was infected and caused severe panic. I jumped out of bed and got to the rooftop where a helicopter was supposed to wait for us. It wasn't there. They left without us, so who knows where. Bunny and I decided to come up with a way to get out of the hospital ourselves and fast. What a mess. It certainly seemed like a rush to get out of here. Chapter 7 Metro. We made our way through the hospital and down to the underground metro. That doesn't make any sense because there's no way up. How did we get down to the metro if I've literally circled around the map like 3 times and didn't see an up? Hello? Bunny and I spoke about Mr. P. I told her my belief in him. I could not understand why he would not wait a moment longer for us. She explained that lately he has been more and more disillusional and obsessed with his search for a cure. Upon finally reaching the metro, I started to work on repairs for the tram. Oh yeah, it's called a tram. I thought a tram was like the surface trains, like the ones that you see on the surface with the road. I thought that was the tram, but I see a lot of I feel like they call it a tram in the British, you know, because it sounds professional. Okay, we're getting off topic. Bunny sat down, not feeling too well. She told me she needed to rest a little before going on and lent me her crossbow. When the repairs were ready, she told me she was infected. I was reluctant to believe her. She explained that one of her test subjects was of Mr. P's cure tests at the hospital. Hers did not go well. I told her we could find a cure and she could hold on enough to find it. Bunny did not want it to go on as she feared putting me in danger. I got on the tram, again, professional. Looking back at her, she stayed behind to fight off any infected that may be still there. My heart hurt as my fists clenched. I was going to find Mr. P. You will be missed, Bunny. I hope Bunny comes back. Yeah, she will. Chapter 8. A beautiful sight in an ugly time. Oh my god. I arrived at Mr. B's carnival to search for any leads on where he may be. Unfortunately, there was not much to be found besides an infected fox trapped in a cage, Foxy. I shiver at the thoughts of how he could possibly end up there because obviously foxes, I don't know if foxes are ever in circuses, but it's kind of weird. Is Foxy a fox dressed up as the fox, or Foxy as the real fox? I met two survivors there, Zizzy and Pony. Zizzy was I'm glad that was not a swear word. A cunning, skilled fencer, and Pony was a clumsy yet comforting ally. Or ally, I think that's ally. Yeah, that's ally. They were kind enough to allow me to join them. They told me that they were on a supply run, but found me on the way and trusted me enough. As I went back to their safe house, they spoke a lot about untrustworthy people and how I should watch for them. It seemed that this whole situation really brought out the worst in some. A beautiful sight in an ugly time. I love that caption. Chapter 9, City. I'm kind of surprised. I have one mystery question. Why are all the infected cars why are they old? Why are they scrapped? That's the word I'm looking for. Why are they scrapped? We arrived at the city, a run-down mess. They set up their safe house in a hotel, as it had plenty of beds and supplies. Recently, they've been running low. It was there I learned a few things about my two new allies. Zizzy taught her younger sisters, Z and Zizzy, how to fight. Pony studied optometry like his father. Matri, actually. I told them my story and how I was searching for Mr. P. Saying his name struck something in me, a negative emotion that burned inside my gut. As we spoke, we discovered a mysterious figure watching us. It didn't seem like an infected because it ran away. Zizzy and I ran for it. Wait, I didn't read this. With all of the traffic, it looks like it must have been faster to just run. Oh my god. Wait. Oh. Look at that. The cars are all flipped. Chapter 10, Mall. We chased after the figure to the mall, only to discover it was Geordie, the missing child. He had a deep fear in his eyes when we found him in his little fort, coupled with an awful stench. Dude, what if this got me thinking. What if there was a player that saw this, that did not complete the house, and knew the ending? Ruh-roh. Well, that wouldn't make sense because they gotta complete it, though. Well, they gotta remove this someday because otherwise people are gonna know the ending and then they're gonna get mad at Minitoon. Well, anyways, I asked him why he went missing. He told me about his family. They visited the hospital without him and come back strange. So they ran off to find his grandmother in the city and hoped he could help her out. Unfortunately for him, the city seemed to act all the same way his family did by the time he got here, so he hid himself. This poor cruel world took his family away from him. I cannot imagine what that feels at his age. Like I cannot imagine what that must feel like at his age. So we brought him back to the safe house with us. He, it was there I met the Safe Place crew, Dizzy's sisters, Mimi, and Giraffe. Mimi was a smart engineer. She knew her way around technology quite well. Giraffe was a tough guy with a strong passion for nature and ecology. He loved plants. The meeting was short-lived, however, as Mimi managed to find a working helicopter signal at the nearby military outpost. Pony informed us of the news, so we left Georgie in the care of the others as Pony, Zizzy, and I journeyed to the outpost. Georgie's hideout. I'm impressed with his survival skills because I can't even survive that long. How many times from the first day to the last day to today, how many times have I died in Piggy? 100. 100. So, oh my god, this is a lot better. But if the story was rigged, so I would be indestructible. The outpost was swarming with infected soldiers. The three of us opened the sealed doors of the plant, where Mr. P presumably flew to. As I prepared to enter, Georgie showed up. He snuck out of the safe place and followed us. I was not pleased to see him at all, because he could have been easily harmed. It was a relief to see him, and so I can't say I was surprised after finding out how well he managed on his own. He wanted to see Mr. P, the one responsible for asking his family to act the way they did. I reluctantly agreed to bring him along as long as he remained close and out of any more trouble. Georgie and I entered the plant, leaving Zizzy and Pony to fend off against the soldiers and protect us from being swarmed. It was not Mr. P speaking strangely. He seemed to hold a deep regret for his actions, and he could not seem to cope with them. Then he realized we were there. He believed we were nothing but ghosts who came to haunt him. Mr. P was unable to come to terms with reality, and ran off. We followed him for a final confrontation. Looks like whatever plans they had, they abandoned, I think. Okay, we're finally at the end. Do you guys realize how hard it is to read? I don't know about you guys, but you guys have a reader. I'm just gonna. So, well, the reason why I'm reading this is because most of these things aren't in the storyline, so that's why I'm reading it. Mr. P. Delusional thoughts grew wider as he began to attack us in an attempt to get us to leave him alone. We persisted in trying to get his attention, but he would not listen. He was in a world of his own, blinded by his own runners. It was not long before I, too, began to suffer from unwanted thoughts. I myself thought my own memories, being attacked from the past. I was searching for something, anything, to get me back into the real world. That was until I found a photo of Mrs. P, Mr. P's wife, Mrs. P. I showed it to him, and that was when all of it came back to him. He finally came to terms with his actions, seeing us no longer as regretful memories. Oh, that makes a lot more sense because I never understood. He told us his story. He did everything he could to save his wife, who was suffering from a sickness, and used the world and caused the world to burn into process. Nothing hurt him in this world than himself. He was afraid of his actions. He's been no more and more desperate for solutions, sacrificing those closest to him in the process. Georgie was upset and wanted revenge, but I convinced him not to do anything to him. If he harmed Mr. P, he would not be any better than Mr. P. He was too blinded by his emotions and realized he was doing. And if Georgie went through with it, he too would have suffered just like him. We soon left the plant, leaving behind Mr. P. Zizzy and Pony greeted us with great joys. With the search of Mr. P finally over, we were unsure of what to do. We all stopped to take a moment and think. Then Georgie's face lit up with when he came up with an idea. What if we look for a cure? Maybe it wasn't such a ridiculous idea. We live in a world full with sorts of people, so perhaps it wouldn't be too far fetched to come across someone working on something that could help us out. There's only one way to find out. And the problem is, well, there's no problem actually. I regret saying that. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you guys need help getting all this, there's a video, there's a playlist on the top left of the video. Go ahead and check it out. And yeah, should I just hold on for another 15 seconds so that the playlist can play? But yeah, thanks so much for watching. And that is book 1. Book 2 should be coming soon. And I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong about this, but I think chapter 8 should be coming this weekend. Because should have came out a few days ago, but Mini was sick, so but like it's very hard work. I've been working hard. But shout out to Mini for doing this update. It's been a long grind. If you guys haven't done anything and you want a book like this, all you gotta do is click the playlist on the top of the video. If you need help with where all the notes are, thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing and shout out and thanks so much for the support.